The terrible story of a married couple on K2. Rising majestically in the Karakoram Range, K2 stands as a formidable challenge for mountaineers from around the world. Aptly nicknamed the Savage Mountain, K2 holds a reputation as the deadliest among the world's 8,000-plus meter peaks. Situated in the Gilgit-Baltistan region of Pakistan, reaching K2's summit is a feat that demands exceptional skill, determination, and a deep understanding of the mountain's treacherous nature. The price of ambition. Explore the devastating consequences that unfold as a married couple's quest for glory takes a dark turn on the slopes of K2. Maurice Burrard and Lillian explored plenty of the mountains, though they used to climb a few occasionally. After climbing high-altitude mountains in the Himalayan and Karakoram ranges, focusing on alpine style and moving quickly and lightly, they decided not to use any additional oxygen or equipment. This sent them to K2, the second highest mountain in the Killer Mountains, which is 28,251 feet above the sea level. Deep dive into K2's imposing presence and remote location contribute to its reputation as a formidable peak. Located in the Karakoram Range, which spans across the borders of Pakistan, India, and China, K2 towers at an awe-inspiring height of 8,611 meters, 28,251 feet above sea level. Maurice Burrard, hailing from a family with a rich mountaineering legacy, and Lillian, a passionate mountain enthusiast, embarked on an extraordinary adventure that would forever change their lives. Together, they sought solace and liberation in the grandeur of nature, with a love for each other that knew no bounds. Their passion for climbing led them to tackle some of the most challenging mountains, including the Himalayas and Karakoram ranges. However, it was their ill-fated expedition to K2 that would leave an indelible mark on their legacy. Maurice and Lillian Burrard were determined to conquer this formidable peak, adhering to an alpine style of climbing known for its fast and light approach. They deliberately chose to forego extra equipment and artificial oxygen, relying solely on their skills and resilience to ascend the treacherous slopes of K2. Love and adventure entwined on the treacherous slopes of K2, the world's second highest peak. But what began as a romantic escapade for a brave married couple turned into a nightmare of epic proportions. Brace yourself for a heart-wrenching tale of courage, resilience, and the ultimate test of their love as they fought for survival against insurmountable odds. On June 12, 1986, Maurice and Lillian, accompanied by two other climbers, Wanda Rikowicz and Michael Parmenter, commenced their daring ascent. Wanda, a seasoned Polish mountaineer, and Michael, a French mountaineer, joined the couple on this historic French expedition. Despite some tension between Wanda and Michael, the team shared a common goal: to be the first couple in history to conquer the perilous K2. The journey began with a setback, as Maurice accidentally left behind their essential documents, airline tickets, and expedition expenses in a taxi. Undeterred by this unfortunate incident, they pressed on, determined not to waste any precious time. Along the way, they encountered Alan Roos, the first British mountaineer to summit K2, who shared valuable insights and advice. Armed with necessary information and equipment, the French expedition team set up their base camp, preparing for the arduous climb that lay ahead. Opting for the traditional Abruzzi spur route, Maurice and Lillian were brimming with confidence, fueled by their unwavering belief in each other. Their objective was clear: to reach the summit of K2 as swiftly as possible. Their journey was not without challenges. Maurice and Lillian deliberately chose to forego Camp 2, instead opting to camp at a higher altitude of 7,100 meters. This strategic decision allowed them to maintain a faster pace and lessen the burden of carrying additional equipment. However, this choice would later prove to be a critical mistake. As they progressed, Lillian and Maurice encountered the Black Pyramid, a ridge near their campsite, at around 7,700 meters. It was here that they faced the consequences of their hasty and shoddy planning. They came across a collapsed snow bridge that previously had not been broken when Michael had crossed it. With no rope to navigate the hazardous terrain, they were left with no alternative but to embark on a perilous and physically demanding detour. Despite the setback, the determined climbers persisted and eventually reached the summit after overcoming a challenging 3-meter high overhang. However, the continuous harsh weather conditions took a toll on their progress. Exhaustion and fatigue set in, particularly for Lillian and Wanda, who found it increasingly difficult to move forward. By the fourth day of their expedition, the weather deteriorated further, exacerbating the physical and mental exhaustion of the climbers. Lillian, Wanda, and Morris struggled to push forward, reaching an altitude of 7,900 meters. Morris, too, was fatigued and in need of rest. However, Michael, seemingly in better condition, was determined to press on, hoping to get closer to the summit. Lillian and Morris, two adventurous souls, embarked on a treacherous journey down the formidable slopes of K2. Their goal was to reach the K2 Wanda, nearly 8,300 meters below. Exhausted from the arduous descent, they decided to make camp and rest for the night. Aware of the dangers that awaited them, Wanda and Michael, their companions, decided to join them. They knew the importance of teamwork in such perilous situations. The next morning, the group set off towards the base camp. Unfortunately, the harsh conditions had taken a toll on Lillian and Morris. They moved slowly, struggling to keep up with the others. Wanda and Michael, concerned for their safety, waited for them. However, as time passed, they realized that they could not put themselves in further danger. Reluctantly, Wanda and Michael had to push ahead, leaving Lillian and Morris behind. Michael reached Camp 3 and waited for the couple for 2 days, but there was no sign of them. Meanwhile, Wanda anxiously waited at the base camp, hoping that all three of them would make it safely. However, as the days went by with no sign of Lillian and Morris, fear gripped the hearts of everyone involved. Soon, Michael arrived at the base camp, exhausted and devastated. He shared the heartbreaking news that Lillian and Morris were still missing. Hope began to fade, and prayers were offered for their safe return. However, as time passed, it became clear that they had met a tragic fate. A month after the ill-fated expedition, Lillian's body was discovered by an Austrian climber on July 19th at the treacherous south face of K2. The search for Morris continued, and it wasn't until 1988, nearly 12 to 13 years later, that his body was finally found on a glacier just above the base camp. In a poignant tribute, Lillian and Morris were laid to rest near each other at the Gilgit Memorial, a solemn reminder of their courage and love for the mountains. The tragic end of Lillian and Morris Burrard sent shockwaves through the mountaineering community, leaving adventurers around the world grieving. Though their lives were cut short, their legacy lives on, inspiring others to embrace life's challenges and appreciate the awe-inspiring beauty of our world. Their story serves as a testament to the fragility of human existence and the unpredictable nature of life. Lillian and Morris's love for each other and their unwavering spirit in the mountains propelled them to unimaginable heights. Their tale reminds us of the profound bonds we form with nature and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity.